Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Holliston Zoning Board of Appeals, April 28th, 2021 meeting. Appreciate everybody being here and coming in on this Zoom thing. Prior to starting the meeting, I want to read following into the record. Pursuant to the governor's order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, MGL Chapter 38, paragraph 20, as well as the Select Board's emergency order dated March 16th, 2020, the Zoning Board of Appeals will be using remote participation for this meeting. The audio of this meeting is being recorded and will be posted on the town's webpage within 24 hours in accordance with the governor's emergency action requirement of keeping the public informed of actions during this meeting. I would ask that all participants remotely attending this meeting please state your name for identification purposes each time you speak throughout the meeting. At this time, a roll call attendance will be taken. John Love, present. Jay Peabody.
Present.
Mark Bush is absent today. And Elizabeth Dembitzer.
Present.
Thank you, everyone. So for those that haven't joined us before, welcome. If you need to speak, we'd ask each time you do speak that you state your name for the record so we can track it. And you can, using the things at the bottom of the screen, if you would like to be heard when the time comes, there's a thing to raise your hand. And I ask people to do that, and we will try to make sure everybody gets properly represented. So the first order of business tonight is the approval of the meeting minutes from our March 17th, 2021 meeting. And I wonder if anybody has any comments or anybody on the board with or corrections to be made.
My only comment was in terms of the bylaw amendment, did we have to make reference to the actual language that we approved?
I can attach it to it. That's
probably wouldn't hurt.
Sure.
Yeah,
No problem.
And Karen, the other thing I just happened to see at the end of the call to order, we probably had this for the last 8, at this time, a roll call attendance, with the word vote in there will be taken. I think it's just attendance at that point. But my guess is we've missed that for the last year. So anyhow, it being, I believe 7:05, we're good to go. I think the first hearing on the docket for tonight is public hearing for dimensional variance. So Kevin and Ashley McShane at 37 Roy Avenue. And Peter, are you presenting that on their behalf?
Do we have to make a motion to approve the minutes?
Oh,
Yes,
I'm sorry. Yes, thank you, Liz. My apology. Just a moment, Peter, if we could, before we open that public hearing, could I have a motion to accept the minutes as amended?
I'll make a motion that we approve the meeting minutes from the March 17th, 2021 Holliston Zoning Board of Appeals meeting as drafted, plus amended to include the language relative to the bylaw zoning amendment for annual town meeting warrant.
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor will use a roll call vote. John, aye. Jay?
Aye.
Liz?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. My apologies for skipping that. Now we'll open the public hearing for dimensional variance for Kevin and Ashley McShane, 37 Roy Avenue. So Peter, you're going to present?
I am.
Thank you.
Okay. For the record, Peter Barbera on behalf of Machines. We're seeking variances for front and side setbacks for the property at 37 Roy. If you want to share a screen, I can pull up the plan and kind of take you through what we got.
I think that would be helpful. Yeah.
Go ahead, Peter.
But the property was developed, or the lot was created well before zoning requirements. So the lot is non-conforming as to lot area, which is only 25,000 square feet. Lot frontage, which is, as you can see from this plan at the very bottom, only 110, and you need 180. This plan.
Nobody sees other.
Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay. And the lot has a drainage easement that runs through the back of it, cutting off the back portion. As a result, the septic system is between the drainage channel and the street, which pushed the house a little bit closer to the street than current requirements. So the house doesn't meet the current 40-foot front setback. The house, this is the house line here, it jogs a foot back. So the property is non-conforming. Also, we don't meet the 30, with the existing house, we don't meet the 30-foot setback because, again, we don't have 180 feet in the first place for the frontage or the width of the lot. So we're seeking to take the house, which is now a single-story dwelling, add a second floor. Also looking to square off the front in this location, add a covered porch and some steps. So the front setback would now be 24 feet 7 to the steps, I think. So we need a front step. We're talking less than like 200 square feet of total encroachment within the front setback area. This would be the new view of the front on the top right. On the top left that you're seeing would be the view from the back. The view from the back, you can see in the lower right-hand corner in the view from the back, you see some stairs going up. That is to allow access into the basement. And under the bylaw, that down gradient step also requires a side setback variance. So that those steps, the top step there is only 26.7 feet from the property line rather than the 30 feet required. And the deck that you see on the back of the thing is about 29.5 feet from the side property line. So, and the deck's 16 feet deep. So you're talking, 8-foot encroachment in the 30-foot setback in the deck, and about, less than 50 square feet for the stairs going down. This picture you can also see in the top right, extension beyond the side of the building. They're adding a bump out for a fireplace in the living room, so that ends up, again, further encroaching into the 30-foot setback by about 1 foot to 1.5 feet. So we're talking real de minimis encroachments, but it allows us to properly square off and make use of the building as it is and add the second floor to it. So we believe that because of the drainage and non-conforming lot, there were sufficient factors on this relating to this property, which make it unique and impose the hardship trying to expand it. Otherwise, the expansion from the viewpoint of the size of the dwelling, it'd now be a three bedroom on the second floor, a total upgrade of the property and improvement of the area, but we need the front and the side setback variances. So that's the summary.
Okay. I just want to make sure I'm clear on so the requested now setback is to 22.8 feet in the front and 26.7 feet on the side.
Yeah, well, the front step is 22 point, I think it looks like from this plan, 22.6.
Oh, okay. I was reading from the text.
The fireplace addition on the side is 27.1. And the steps are 24.7 and the deck 29.6. So the closest on the side is 24.7. The closest on the front is 22.6.
Okay.
And that would include any necessary overhang for the roof.
Mhm.
So those dimensions work.
Yeah, and you get the steps.
You did receive one letter from the butter in support of the project.
That's correct.
I
Yeah, we can-
provided a copy of. Otherwise, we have not received any comments.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything else. Karen, are you aware of any other comments? Just, okay. Actually, I can, why don't I read that into the record since we did receive it. Bear with me. We received an email from Tricia Clark to Karen Sherman that was dated April 21st, 2021, saying, "Hi Karen, we received notice from the town that Kevin and Ashley McShane are petitioning for a variance to construct a second floor for their home. We're considered a party of interest in this petition. We would like to say that we have no problem with the petition. We support the McShanes in their quest to add a second floor, front porch, and deck to their existing home. They're great neighbors and would like them to remain in the hood. Thank you, Tricia and Bill Clark, 59 Carl Road." Thank you. And that's the only thing. I don't think we received anything from any other boards or departments in town. So are there any questions of the applicant from the board?
I don't have any questions.
Okay.
So my only question would be just a little, so we don't have to, I don't have to fight with the plan in that the existing relief is 22 feet on what side? 27 feet on, what side?
The 22.6 is to the front step.
I know, but what is that? Like if I were to say, is that facing, is that?
Compass direction.
The front setback. And then the steps to the basement on the side setback are 24.7 feet setback.
And that's on the western side?
Let me see if I can find it. That's on the side we're looking for is on the west side.
Okay.
I'm assuming the north arrow is correct.
All right. All right.
Okay. Any further questions, Liz or Jay? Does anyone in the audience have any questions of the applicant? Does anybody in the audience wish to be heard either in support or in opposition to this petition? Okay, seeing none, could I ask for a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make a motion, we close the public portion of the application for dimensional variance for the property located at 37 Roy Ave.
I'll second it.
Okay, it's moved and seconded. Further discussion? Seeing none, we'll go to a vote. Those in favor of closing the public hearing, John, aye. Jay,
Aye.
Liz,
Aye.
aye. Motion carries. It's closed. Peter, hopefully we'll be able to
Get to it
act on this tonight. If
Greatly
not, we'll
appreciated.
be at our next meeting, but I would expect we should be able to.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Peter.
Have a good evening.
All right, you too. All right, let me get back to the agenda. I think we're appropriately timed that the next item on the agenda is another public hearing for dimensional variance, Justin and Jessica Tucker at 10 Pine Oak Street. If somebody's I see Jessica Tucker, is that going to present this for us?
My husband's going to present.
Oh, okay, thank you. I didn't
Yep.
see. Is
Justin, you got to unmute.
just, yeah. Take it.
There you go.
There we are. Thank you.
Sorry about that.
Welcome. Nope, quite all right.
Bear with me. I don't have nearly the experience that the last gentleman had, I guess. But so where do you really want me to start?
Why don't you just tell us what is you'd like to do and what the problem is.
So we're going to be purchasing the property at 10 Pine Oak Street in hopes to renovate and add on to the house. It's a non-conforming lot, I guess, as it is. Yep, there you can see. And we were hoping to add a little bit more to the footprint of the house. I guess it would bring the front setback down to 18.6 feet on that front corner. And then 6.3, it looks like on the back side of that. We kind of had these plans done like preliminary and just thought that we would ask for like our ideal situation. But, you know, obviously in what's going into this, we realize that obviously it might not be possible and may need to change the plans a little bit or kind of refigure things. But I guess that's where we needed to talk to you guys.
Uh-huh. Okay, could you speak a little bit to what the existing, from the plan that we have, it looks like you're adding on to the, I guess it'd be the west side and rear of the houses. And also, is it on the rear east side or?
Yes, correct. So it's kind of bumping out each and every way a little bit. So the I believe it's the west side here would be adding on the garage and going out the back of the house a little bit, which actually kind of goes back into the I guess buildable area. But then on the right side, we were hoping to do like a first floor master suite, and it does bump out a little bit in the front of the house, as well as the back and the side. On the east, I guess that would be the eastern side.
Well, on that plan you're looking at, on that eastern side, which part, is that sort of light line rectangle, the existing?
Correct, yeah.
A little bump on the front and in the back or what's new?
Yeah.
And because of the thing being askew, that puts you closer to the side lot.
Correct, yeah.
As well as the front. A couple feet. Okay. Just want to be clear. One other question I had, is that on the application, the building inspector noted that, I'm trying to read it well, but it appears to have a two-family on the lot and nothing was in the building folder regarding that. Is this intended to be a two-family or a single family?
Oh, no, I'd like it. Yeah, right. Currently it's a two-family, but according to the building inspector, that it was never a legal two-family.
That's what it sounded like.
So what our ideal situation was turn it back into a single family and keep it as such.
Okay. I think, yeah, that probably makes sense. Otherwise, you'd need to get that too. Otherwise,
Yeah.
have a hard time selling or getting financing or anything.
Right.
Okay. I think I understand. In terms of the plan itself and the work on the building, I don't know what the existing home looks like, but
So it's basically just a single story ranch where I was hoping to add a partial second floor, as well as the garage and the yeah, there you go on the right side there.
Okay.
But
and in terms of materials and whatnot, it would be consistent with the old and the new and
yeah. It looks like the house next door had been redone maybe a few years ago. I don't know if that was a full tear down or if they were able to salvage some of the existing house, but yeah, I mean, it would basically be all new.
okay, finishes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Liz and Jay, questions of the applicant? I think you're muted, Jay.
Yeah, it was. No, I guess my only maybe question is, so you've got the existing house, and then you have the house the way I think you want it. Are you asking for us to give you because you mentioned, wanting to seek the relief, sort of so you have the best case scenario. So are you looking for us to orient the relief according to the way the house is oriented on this plot plan? Or is that subject to change? Because it really matters. Because if it's going to change, we would need to know how it's going to change, because whatever we determine is going to be specific.
Yeah. So ideally, this is what I would do. But that's where I'm a little unsure of myself. I don't know if this wasn't feasible from you guys, do I need to withdraw and come back with a new plan? Or does it?
Well, I think, if you did and we weren't, amenable to this, that would be where you'd have to go, assuming it still needed a variance. I think what Jay's concern here is that if we issue this, typically what we would do is quote the dimensions that you have on there and also put on conditions, something to the effect that it would need to be substantially in accordance with the plans submitted. So I think his concern, and pardon me if I'm putting words in your mouth, Jay, but I think is that if you're thinking of changing this from what you had in any significant way, should tell us so that we don't condition it in a way that
the only reason I would change this would be is if you guys were not willing to grant the
Gotcha.
So can you help me understand? So if you look at maybe it's just me and it's late in the day, but can you help me understand where your driveway is coming in? And
so right now there's a driveway on a small driveway on either side of the house. I would eliminate the one on the right side, and the driveway would just come in down if you're looking at the house from Pine Oak Street, it would come down the left side.
Okay, so is that a front-loaded garage door, or is that a side-loaded garage door? So it
would be a side-loaded garage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where's your septic system, in the back?
It is in the back, yes.
Has that been approved? Is it a conforming system? And then if so, what number of bedrooms, or does that have to be?
So the system would have to be enlarged, I guess, because we would be adding bedrooms.
Okay. And you know that you have plenty of area back there to do it?
To be honest, no, I haven't had anything designed.
Okay.
So I guess I don't know that for sure. It's probably
I mean, it's a lot of area back there, so you're probably okay.
yeah.
I'm trying to avoid you having to do this twice. I mean, I'm okay the way it is in terms of orientation on the lot. Subject to all the other things, including that you got to get a septic permit and your building permit, which is not through us.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any issue. You have a water line easement in the front, but I think you can put impervious over that. So doesn't really bother me. I don't know that neighborhood, so I don't know. I assume the structure's kind of in keeping with the neighborhood.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the house next door is maybe a little bit less detail, I guess. But it's a nice new home, and I kind of thought this would fit well in the area. We're the last house on the street, and abutting the golf course.
Yeah, so I'm not, I mean, that's golf course. I don't really worry about that side so much. And your neighbor was noticed. We haven't opened it up to the public yet, so I'm not sure if they're here or not. Actually, I think they are, because I see an Emma and Nate. So anyway, I don't have any other questions.
Okay.
Okay, Liz, anything? Are there any questions from people in the audience regarding this application?
Hey everyone, this is Nate. I live next door with my wife Emma. I guess my only question right now is how close would the driveway get to the property line? Do you know that, Mr. Tucker, at all right now?
I actually don't. I'm sorry that I don't. I assume it would get slightly closer. I would, probably try to keep it as narrow as I could. Passing down the side of the house, obviously I would have to make enough room for the cars to be able to turn into the garage. But I don't know how close the driveway would actually be to the property line.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, so long as, that's kind of considered and taken into account and it's not right up against the fence or anything. Overall, I would very much support this project. I think it's a nice design, and my wife and I feel like it would add a lot of value to the street. So yeah, overall, I would be in support of this.
Thanks.
Thank you. I appreciate the comments, and suggest maybe when you have that information, you could get in touch with them.
Yeah.
Let them know. Are there any other questions of the applicant? Are there any other comments either in support or in opposition to this application?
May I just ask about the well location and what it is?
Good question. Another thing I don't know. You can tell I've never done this before.
I'm assuming the easement is to the town.
It is, I think.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I'm assuming the easement is to the benefit of the town of Holliston?
The water
Yeah,
easement?
So I assume there's a wellhead there, and then that's a water easement probably that runs to the golf course.
My guess is that it's an irrigation well, but that may determine the proximity of the driveway to the property line.
Mhm. Well, I mean, it looks like I have about 28 feet from the front corner of the house to the property line. And obviously I would have to pass over that water easement, which the driveway does currently. But I assume that it would still fit in between the house and where that water easement turns back into the property.
Yeah. Well, you may end up having to offset the driveway and kind of swing it around to make the
Right. Yeah.
Angle.
yeah, to get. It looks like your existing driveway is right at the edge of the house, so
Right.
sort of right in front of where the addition would be now.
Correct. Yeah.
in the garage.
If you do relocate the driveway on Pine Oak, you probably need highway department access permit to do that.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Are there any further comments on this application? All right, thank you all. That point, if there's no further questions from the board or anything from the audience, we to entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll make a motion that we close the public portion of the application for a dimensional variance for the property located at 10? Is it 10 Pine Oaks?
Yes, that's correct. 10 Pine Oaks.
10 Pine Oaks. 10 Pine Oak Street.
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded. Further discussion? Seeing none, we'll move to a voice vote. John, aye. Jay,
Aye.
Liz?
Aye.
Okay. Mr. and Mrs. Tucker, what we will do is ideally, we will deliberate and reach a decision on this tonight after these other hearings. You're welcome to stay around or not with that. Once we do, we will write up the decision, give it to the town clerk, and you'll be notified at that time. It's usually, we try to get that within the week anyway of now, but as soon as we can.
Thanks for bearing with me.
I'm sorry?
Thanks for bearing with me.
Oh, yeah, no, not a problem at all. I appreciate your having a thing and having as well-developed plans and ideas as you do and good dimensions. That's important for us. After the decision is entered with the town clerk, you or anyone else has a statutory period of 20 days for appeal, after which the decision, presuming there is no appeal, goes into effect, and you file it with presuming it's positive, that you file it with your deed and move along. Sounds like you probably want to take a look at what that well's all about and what that's going to do to limit you and figure out how the driveway would work. But beyond that, I think it sounds like you've got this pretty well set up.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
We'll move along. And so, Karen, you were talking about whether we wanted hard copies. Or I have one request, is that we get the agenda on a separate thing, because when we get late in the night, I'm scrolling all the way up and down every time we go to one. I should probably just have copied it.
Also, the building inspector's comments should be typed.
I I would love that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that would be helpful. I
Yeah.
have no idea what half of that says.
Right.
Over the years, I got used to Peter's handwriting, so I was pretty good at it, but I'm less good now. All right, that being said, our next agenda item is a public hearing for dimensional variance by Chris Crump at 2122 Washington Street. And let me go down and see. I saw Chris Crump there. Yes, I do. So would you like to tell us what we're looking for here? And
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Chairman.
thank you.
My name is Chris Crump with CWC Design, and I'm representing my client tonight, Nancy Mayo, at 2122 Washington Street in Holliston.
Great.
Do we have the plans?
We do. If you have them there and you want to pull them up, that may make it easier. Oops, here they come. I guess Chris.
Yep,
has
this is good.
Excellent.
Just we can just rotate it or. Thank you. Okay, so the house itself, the existing house is on the corner of Washington Street and South Street. And it's a fairly large property at 2.5 acres. And there is, if we can just zoom in right on the corner of the house on corner of the Washington and South Street a little bit, please. Right. Okay, thank you. So on this footprint, and it's a little bit harder to see, but there is, we're looking to put an addition on the right-hand side of the house. And currently there is an existing garage that is pre-existing non-conforming. And the corner of the existing garage is at 25.2 feet from South Street. And what we're looking to do is we're looking to take down the existing garage and put an addition on it at the exact same corner of the existing garage. And it would extend a little bit further forward towards Washington Street. And then we would go back and attach back to the house. It's a one-story addition. So what we're doing here is we're not going any closer to the South Street property line. We're just pinning that one corner at the back right corner on that existing garage and creating the addition, the one-story addition that's going on the house. So that's the basis of what we're here for today. If you want to go to the plans, please.
I actually don't have the plans. If you want to share your screen, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Let me just pull that up right here. Okay. Can we see that?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Sorry.
Something takes a sec.
There we go. That's what it is.
Here it comes.
Okay. So
Got it.
this is the existing floor plan as it is now. There's a sunroom off the back, and then there's an existing garage over here on the right-hand side, a detached garage. What we're looking, and this is the existing front, rear, and side elevations of the existing house. What we're looking to do is, in this, you can kind of see a little bit more clearly on than on the site plan, but right here is the existing garage. And we're looking to put an addition on the house. Again, basically pinning this corner right here, which is the closest in proximity to South Street, and putting a new addition on the side of the house. And this is basically a master suite, because there really is no master suite in the house, and they're looking to age in place. So this is the proposed layout with the floor plans and living space of the new addition, and we're redoing the kitchen as well. And this is the proposed addition on the side of the house. This is the existing house as it is right now. So still keeping intact with the vernacular and the architecture of the building. This is the back of the house with a little covered porch and the back side. And then this is a side that will be facing South Street. So you can kind of see exactly what we're intending to do and the implications of what it would have on the setbacks.
Okay.
And this is a site plan that I showed earlier. It's just in color, so you can kind of see it a little bit more clearly. So this is there's one real close. The closest abutter probably has a driveway right about here that goes back into here. So there's no one immediately abutting the house. And we're kind of restricted in the spaces that we can do it because of the existing ground pool. And there is an existing driveway that's here already to go to the garage. We are looking to keep the existing driveway intact where it is, so they can, so they have easy access to come in and out when they eventually age in place. But we would keep the existing driveway where it is. We wouldn't enlarge it or anything that, or decrease it or enlarge it. It would stay exactly the way it is now.
Terrific. Quick question for you. That measurement, the 25.2 to the existing and proposed, does that take into account any kind of overhang, eaves, gutters, anything like that?
That's a good question.
Maybe we ought to take a quick look. And
yeah, that would. It's a flat rake on this side of the house, so it might be a couple inches just for the rake board, maybe an inch. At most, but from the foundation, maybe 2, because you have the exterior sheeting and all that. So it might be a couple inches out from the foundation.
Okay, so if we gave you, whatever, it's 24.5 feet or something like that, just we've run into this in the past. Sometimes the measurements come from Applewood, I think, is pretty used to it, but they'll do it to the foundation or something, and then you've got railings or steps or eaves or gutters that don't get taken into account. We don't want to create problems like that.
Absolutely. Thank you for thinking of that.
No, just we've learned it the hard way.
I'm sure.
So, and you mentioned that architecture is consistent with the existing house and materials and style. Plans certainly look nice that way. No, I guess I understand. Jay and Liz, any questions?
My only question is, again, with this view, in terms of this little, I don't know how to describe what I'm saying here, but there's this bottom red line that comes out to the right of the stairs, and I'm just wondering if that, do you need relief? Because that looks like it does. Well, I don't know. Like, do you need relief from that line to South Street, or is that already like within the?
I think it's all the closest point being 25.2 would take everything into account, wouldn't it?
So it would cover like this,
Yeah.
Well, because one is existing and one is, theoretically coming a little closer, right? But
it is, and to your point, Mark did bring up in his notes, and to be honest with you, I understand why you mentioned it jokingly before of having him type them. I couldn't understand some of his writing on the application, but he did mention that he thought that there was a different, like it was as if he was trying to say there were two variances that dimensional variances that were being requested, and I didn't understand the second one. He may have seen it the same way as you're trying to describe right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to locate the. Sorry, I'm just. I keep forgetting I'm still sharing the screen. Sorry. I'm just trying to look for his the comment that he sent back. Sorry.
I think we're just treating them as there's two frontages, right? You have frontage on Washington, you have frontage on South.
Correct.
So I think we're applying the 40-foot frontage to both.
Right, I think there's that, but
Yeah,
and
to
it's
Liz's point,
non-conforming in both
rectangle.
cases, but existing. Yeah,
So the little rectangle that Liz is referring to is a new nonconformity.
Correct.
Down here.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
But actually, it's all a new nonconformity in that it was a detached garage, which would be an auxiliary structure anyway, right? Remember, we've had that where people want to attach their garage and suddenly they became non-conforming because the garage by itself is probably conforming.
Oh.
You know, it's as a auxiliary
That's
structure. So I
Well,
think,
except for the fact that it can't be located in the front yard setback.
oh, that's a good point. Yep. But so it's all completely different non-conformance.
Yep.
So I think technically everything outside the setback line is a new non-conformance, but it's a single one in my eyes.
Hmm.
And it's no more severe than the existing building location was, but maybe a new non. Okay. Good question. Any more questions? All right, is there anyone in the audience that has questions of the applicant? Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to be heard either in support or in opposition to this application? All right, thank you. So as I explained to Tuckers, we again hopefully can act on this this evening, and we will see after that write up our decision and do it. So I think we should be back to you within fairly short order to let you know where it goes. When that gets recorded by the town clerk, again, there's a 20-day appeal period during which you or anyone else can appeal our decision. After that, it'll go into effect. So good luck with it. It looks like yet another nice looking addition. And I think, Chris, you did a great job, at least from what I can see on the plans, putting that together.
Thank you.
So hope you enjoy it.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
All right. Thanks very much.
Have a
Chris,
good night.
before you go, do we have those for our record?
Yes,
Oh.
I submitted all these into the office.
Okay, just making sure.
Yep,
Excellent,
absolutely.
thanks.
No, I submitted it online. Mark and as well as everyone in there has copies of it.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I get a motion to close the hearing? I think Jay's doing it, but I have to be a lip reader.
I'll make a motion. We close the public portion of the application for dimensional variance for the property located at 2122 Washington Street, Halston, Mass.
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded. Further discussion? Seeing none, we'll vote. Those in favor of closing the hearing, John, aye. Jay,
Aye.
Liz,
Aye.
motion carries. Thank you. So,
All right. Thank you very much. Have a good
as
night.
close as we can. Thank you very much for putting
Thanks.
that together for us. Okay. And for the night of dimensional variances, we have a last item, hearing on for dimensional variance of Nicholas and Jessica Felice. Am I saying that correctly?
Yep.
Thank you. At 64 Morton Street. So I'm sorry, I hate to massacre people's names. but-
No, that was actually right. And it's usually not.
Oh, good. Well, then we'll call it a win and drop the mic, you know. Okay, can you give us a overview of what you'd like to accomplish here and
Sure.
you do for us?
I can share my screen as well if I just don't have permission at the moment.
Go ahead, you do now.
Oh, perfect. So I have the drawings up here. So what we're proposing to do is add a garage with a living room addition on the back side of the house. And then another addition on the right side of the house, which is within right and not in the setbacks. The garage, I guess on this side of the house, and in the process of speaking to the building inspector about our plans, we found out that when we purchased the house 2 years ago, the existing deck that was in place is currently, it's non-conforming. They did not pull a permit. They were, I guess, given a violation, but it was never rectified.
Saw the letter, yeah.
So we found out about that when I went to go talk to Mark about the plans.
Mhm.
And, you know, if this is approved, that would rectify the situation. The deck would no longer be in place. That would be where the garage, mudroom, and the living room addition would be going. So that would be rectified. And of course, if it didn't get approved, we would rectify the situation either way. With the garage addition on the left side of the house, we'd be 10.3 feet from our neighboring property on the left side. And then the back corner of the addition is 14.9 feet. But the shortest distance is the 10.3 feet. The addition in the garage on this side would be slab on grade. And then the conforming addition, which would be, you know, within the setback on this side, would have a full basement. And so our location, our septic and leaching field is almost our entire backyard. The leaching field is here, and then there's a retaining wall on the back that drops off about 4 feet. So it doesn't really give us any other location, you know, to put the garage other than right here. Our driveway is currently right here to the street, and that curb cut would remain the same. We don't plan to extend the driveway.
And looking at this, the front setback is your addition on the right-hand side of your drawing. It's okay sidewise. Is it okay front-wise?
Yeah. Yeah.
Good.
Right now, we currently have a split level. So
Yep.
there is an overhang, but the addition would be set back at the foundation. So it would not be within the front setback. And same thing for the garage.
Okay, well, what is the front setback requirement here? I'm thinking it's.
I believe it's 30 feet.
Yeah, so you're within 30?
Yep.
Okay, good.
Oh.
Just want to make sure if,
Yes.
you know, like, because if the existing was non-conforming, even though it's not worse, it's still.
So we're currently at 30 right now. We're not within the setback. So this 28.8 is to the overhang.
I see.
But where the foundation wall is it 2 feet back from there? 2 feet back from.
Right, but
the
typically
overhang.
for us, they measure to the furthest point, whatever that is. So it
Okay.
would be the 28.8, there, which is fine because it's existing. I just
Right.
want to make sure if the new one is anything less than 30 that we get into account when we do this.
No, those neither will be. Those will both
Okay.
be set back.
So it's
from-
only the side setback that you
Yep.
need.
Yes, just a
Gotcha.
side setback. And I didn't see it in the uploaded package, but we did submit a letter. Our neighbor on the side where the garage is going did write us a letter of support. It's from Erica and Connor Plunkett. And they, you know,
Mhm.
did not have any issue with that.
Good, thank you. Jay and Liz, any questions of the applicant?
No, I don't really have any. I was just looking through the renderings and it seems like a pretty complete application.
Yeah, it seems pretty clear. And just to be sure, the materials and architecture consistent with the existing home and.
Yes, and if I can pull the elevations up here. This is our current front elevation split level. We plan to change the siding color, but replace in kind as far as style. And then roof will be the same. It's just same material as it will be now.
Okay.
And again, we'll change the color, but that only updates it
That's
from.
fine. Yeah, we're not usually concerned about what you do as long as you do the same thing through it.
Mhm.
If you want to change the existing, that's okay too. But we just don't want to. We're not looking for a Frank Gehry house or something in the AR district. Or so. No, that looks like it would give you a very workable package.
Right. Yeah. We're just looking for more space. We currently have 3 kids and 1 on the way. So we just need a little more
Congratulations.
space to breathe in here.
You bet. Okay. Any further questions? Is there anyone in the audience that has either questions or wishes to be heard in support or opposition to this?
Yes, hi. My name is Tom Lamont. I'm on 87 Morton Street, one of the neighbors down the street from this family. They've recently moved in here. They've done multiple improvements on the landscaping. Really has made the neighborhood look much better. I hope you guys will let this go through. I really do think it would be great for the neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate that comment. Okay, last chance. Any further questions or concerns from the board? In that case, we would welcome a motion to close the hearing.
Make a motion, we close the public portion of the application for dimensional variance for the parcel identified as 64 Morton Street, Holliston, Massachusetts.
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor, John, aye. Jay?
Aye.
Liz?
Aye.
Okay, so same deal as the others. We'll try and get these decided today, and if not, it'd be at our next meeting, but I think we'll get through them tonight and get our decisions written up, filed with the town clerk. You'll be notified at that point. There's a 20-day appeal period, and after that, you can file with your deed and go to town.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it. So any other, there's nothing else on our agenda for hearings. Is there anybody have new business that want to address? You guys good to deliberate?
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm ready.
Let's do it. All right. I'm not sure we ever had this many, similar type of dimensional variances all in one night, all individual homes. And anyway.
Maybe it's COVID. Everyone's staying put and just making their house bigger because who wants
I think
to
they
try
are.
to
They
buy
all,
now?
as we said earlier, I don't know if you were on yet, but everybody got their stimulus payments and they're going to do some home improvements with it, which is just fine. Okay, so the first is 37 Roy Avenue. That's the one that Peter presented, and as I recall, that one needed both a side and a front yard variance. Any issues with that one that are concerns with granting it? There seem to be fairly de minimis.
I have no concerns.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like they're changing. I mean, they're building the house, but the additional changes to the variance or to the setbacks are for small elements that all seem very necessary. Okay.
I think you can also cite, Karen, that, due to a drainage easement and location of the septic system plus groundwater, existing conditions, they don't have much choice here. So kind of get it.
Yeah, I think Peter has that pretty well identified as well. Yeah, it seems to be consistent with what the bylaws allow and with what their intent is.
So in this case, I know I ask this just about every time. Are we going to say no closer than 22.6 in the front and then no closer than 24.7 on the side? Is that how we do those?
I think so. That's typically how we do, and I guess, yeah, then maybe we should do it as 22 and 24, just so that.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to make much difference, and it's west side.
West side, yeah.
Thank you for getting that straight.
It'd be nice if you just wrote it out. It wouldn't be that much,
Yeah.
a little block.
Yeah, on the west. So we're looking for a variance to 22 feet on the front, to the front variance, no closer than 22 feet to the front lot line, and no closer than 24 feet on the west side lot line.
Yep.
And the deck is on the,
The deck is, I think, also on the west side, right?
is also on the west side. Okay, yeah.
Yep, and there's that stairs for the basement, but I don't remember which was the closest, but one of them, and that allows both of them. Put a condition that it be substantially in accordance with the plans submitted with the application.
Yep.
Any other conditions that other than our normal file it with the.
Yep.
Okay.
So I guess, make a motion that we approve the grant of the variance, the dimensional variance for the property located at Roy, what's the address?
37.
37 Roy Ave, as stated and based on the conditions enumerated by John.
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded. Further discussion? Okay, all those in favor of granting of the approving motion? John, aye. Jay?
Aye.
Liz?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. Great. Next, 10 Pine Oak Street. I think he wanted us to tell him he couldn't do what he wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah. A little more substantial variance, but seems to be workable. Actually, does he? Yeah, he still needs it on the west side. He needs it on east side, west side.
Every side.
Yeah, all around the town, right? Front, east, and west. So, I mean, the front, it's the only amount is the amount of the additional infringement is the amount of the bump out. And similarly on the east side, it's just because of the continuation of the line isn't quite parallel, so it gets closer. West side.
So I'm reading it as 18 feet in the front. Is that 6 feet on the east side?
Yeah, 6.3, I think he said. And then what is it, 28 on
the west?
Yeah, 28 on the west. Is that the number? Okay. Any concerns?
Do we have to say anything about it not being a two-family? I mean, since it's.
Yeah,
not
let's.
legal
I
anyway.
think we allow a single-family home.
Yeah.
That's part of our motion to do it, that because that's, what they've asked for, that's what they're allowed to do. And we'll.
I think it's construction of single-family home pursuant to the architectural that was provided.
Yeah, or substantially so, yeah. Yeah, my only original concern when I look was, the 6.3 is pretty tight, but it looks like it's probably about 7 feet now, so it's not really getting any worse, or not substantially so.
So I think we also need to put, subject to, well, I guess the Board of Health deals with septic, so that's okay. But I think they have to manage some kind of access issue off of Pine Oak if they're going to change that. So I don't know if we want to put subject to, DPI or TPW's approval of relocation of driveway.
Why don't we put that in the finding of facts, that, because or we could put it as a condition also, but a finding of facts is that there appears to be a wellhead that needs to be coordinated with the driveway, and that if the driveway location needs to be changed, then it will require DPU
That's fine.
approval. Yeah, I think it's probably a good thing to put in there that it came up, was addressed. And but I think, even if they kept it where it is and then swung it left and back right, it would work, I think. But ideally, he can move it over and get closer to that. Sounds like they're willing to get along with their neighbors too. Okay. Any conditions that we want other than the adherence to the plans and the filing it with the court, and subject to the well, actually, I guess maybe the other, maybe it goes back into the finding of fact, but that it will require a new Title V because they're changing number of bedrooms, and they haven't done that yet. So, but as you said, it looks like they've got plenty of room.
I would say in terms of the support, I think the best argument for them for hardship is probably size of the lot and orientation of the existing house.
Yeah, I agree.
Plus, I'm guessing location of the septic system, because they can't probably push it any further out of the front yard setback. I'm guessing they're bumping up against the system, although that's why I was asking where it was. I mean, the only thing you could potentially do is push it backwards, but even still, I'm not sure how you would get away with that.
Yeah, and you wouldn't.
Plus, you'd have to.
And the interesting thing is they don't. Their infringement on that west side is pretty minimal anyway, because it looks like they're going to go. What's it say? 20 feet. Well, 20 feet is. Yeah, that's what they actually drew it. So, do they need?
Yeah, it's 30 feet. They're going to be
30. Okay, gotcha.
They'll be 2 feet within the setback.
Yeah, this one's in the AR2 zoning district, John.
Yep. So now I was needed to make this bigger. I thought it said 20 feet and it's 28 feet. Yeah. Versus 30. It looked like it wasn't quite there, but okay. What else? Anything you guys can think of?
No.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a nice house.
Yeah, I think it did a nice job with what and it seems pretty appropriate for that street. Okay.
So I'll make a motion. We approve the grant of the application for dimensional variance for the property located at 10 Pine Oak Street with the conditions as cited by John.
I'll second that.
Okay. Thank you.
I think we need to vote. All in favor, John?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Thank you. All those in favor.
Helpful.
And we're being recorded too, so we have to, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. All those in favor, John, aye. Jay,
Aye.
Liz,
Aye.
thank you. Motion carries. Okay. And now I have Nancy Mayo's. Yep. I like the design that he did, just looking quickly at their layout. I think that's going to really make that house very livable.
Good example of an in-law.
Pardon me?
Good example of an in-law.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's seems, and any concerns or issues? I mean, I think strikes me that technically it's not really changing much of anything. They've got an existing structure in the exact same place. They did made a nice effort to keep it consistent with that. And yeah,
Do we only have to manage the relief on the south side the frontage relative to South Street?
I believe so.
Yeah, I thought that's what he said. Looks
Okay.
like that.
I don't think they're doing any work on the rest of the house, are they?
No.
Well, actually, we should, are they, yes, he redoing like the,
Kitchen.
right, but he's not doing the exterior, right, of the,
I don't
so
think so.
we should be okay. Yeah, wouldn't that be a kick in the pants to get it all done and find out, oh yeah, well, no, we wanted to re-side it and it's all non-conforming. Okay. So what we need is
No
no closer
closer
than 25 feet on the,
south to South Street.
yeah, South Street. That's since we have two front setbacks.
You said 24.5 when you were discussing it,
Oh,
but
good point, because he didn't know whether he had,
Oh, right.
yeah, let's say 24.5, but also include the consistent with the plans submitted.
And I guess the only question I have is when you write the decision, are you citing to, the which bylaw? Because, if you're just doing the garage, right, well, I don't know, it's not a new nonconformity, or maybe it is. Like, is it still this 3.2 section? Because if he's in the same footprint as the garage, but the steps or whatever, that little rectangle is more, which section?
Well, I think, Liz, in any case, it's increasing the nonconformity because the garage is
Doesn't count.
right.
Okay.
It's got its own issue.
Okay.
But it's not the same one. So I think this whole section is additional nonconformance. Yeah, and I guess we should add our rationale that we had the same kind of issue that they had septic and in-ground pool and the existing house structure.
And lot shape. Look at the lot.
And lot shape.
You couldn't build on this thing.
Yeah. So that seems unique and legitimate. And given that it's replacing an existing structure in its place, it's certainly not any more onerous on the town or derogating from the intent of the bylaw in that respect. Okay, any other conditions that we would want to set?
No? Do you want me to make the motion then to approve
Sure.
the grant of the dimensional variance for the property located at 2122 Washington Street, as stated, and with our standard conditions as cited by John?
I'll second that.
All right. Any further discussions? All those in favor, John? Aye. Jay?
Aye.
Liz?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Thank you.
I can't wait to see all these decisions that say conditioned as stated by John.
Yeah. Well, good. Well, thanks, guys. I don't know, before we go, is there anything where it's been a while since we chatted, but
We got one more, right?
We still have 64
oh,
Morton
geez,
Street.
good God, I'm missing it today. Those poor people would be a little upset, wouldn't they? Thank you. I lost count. 64 Morton Street. Where is Morton Street?
I pulled up the street view, but I didn't see where it was.
Yeah, I usually do the same thing. I
Make it
didn't.
from the Queens.
Okay.
Oh, actually, you know what? It's in Brentwood,
Yeah, there we go.
right? Up off of Chamberlain.
Oh, okay.
Yep, it's off of
Yep, I see,
Chamberlain.
yep. I don't know if I've ever been in there. Been on,
There
Thank you.
it is. Thanks.
huh. Yeah, Google got Google.
Yeah, that is a
Maps.
dense neighborhood. That's Kenwood Homes.
Huh. When was that built, Karen, do you know?
Mid 60s to mid 70s. It took them a long time. They did it in about 3 or 4 phases.
Uh-huh. I've been down Gorwin. I don't think I've been in Morton.
Oh, I know where that is. I know that spot.
Yeah. Huh. Okay, well, good for them. They gotta get something built. They're both contractors, so they should be able to get it built if we give them the okay.
Karen, what's the whole swath? Is that town property that is between, it's like if I go from their neighborhood and I went, I don't know which direction it is. Let's assume it's north is to the top. I went like due west over to Marshall Street Fields. That all that area in between, is that town forest? Or I know we permitted solar somewhere in there, but what is that area?
All of the stuff that's on the south side of Gorwin is either Army Corps or Concon land. So it's part of the Charles River Natural Valley flood storage area.
Are there hiking trails back there or no?
There are. The best way to go in is go north of Gorwin. Well, actually, you can go either way, but there is a big trail north of Gorwin, about midway across.
Oh, that looks like a cool spot.
Mm-hmm. Big beaver dams in there.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
They've
that's
killed
cool.
a cedar swamp.
Well, I see the cedar swamp south of Gorwin, I'll call it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking north, so I'm looking.
You don't go blueberry picking at Pat's Blueberries on Gorwin? No.
No, I never even heard of it.
Huh, I never have either.
I've heard of it.
See
though.
it.
Oh, that's cool. I'm gonna check it out.
And what's the way in there, Karen? From the,
There's a gateway. I'm not sure what you're looking at, but as you drive along, there's a small parking area, maybe 1 or 2 parking spaces. There's a gateway with a sign there
on Gorwin?
on Gorwin.
Okay.
Hey, you can see it, John, if you, look. If you look at like an aerial or
Yeah,
satellite.
I've got it up on Google
Okay,
Maps.
so you can see there's like almost like a paper street that goes in on the, probably like 1, 2, 3 houses in. And it looks like that's the entrance, because you can see a little turnaround right there. That's cool.
Yeah, it's a little wet compared to if you hike out at Adams Street, which is sort of on the hiking up off of Adams. This is way more swampy than that. It's a huge area.
That's what I mean. It's like, it's got to be one of the biggest open areas around that we have.
Yep.
Oh, I've never been back there.
Yeah, all floodplain easement. And then as you approach Cortlandt Street, there's a sort of an abrupt change in topography where the gas transmission line comes parallel to Cortlandt up to the Marshall Street intersection.
Yeah, no, I knew there's a line that cuts like directly through there. That's cool.
All right.
You'll have to sign up for one of Mark Connolly's wanders around town. And then
I didn't know they exist.
He's on the Conservation Associates group. They have walks occasionally. And he's a forager, so you can, stalk the wild asparagus like Yul Gibbons.
That's cool.
That's pretty good. I remember shortly after moving here many years ago, I had to find Beaver Brook Road and to drop off something for Jack McDevitt. And I drove around one night because I had a map that I think the road wasn't on the map yet. It was fairly new then. They just built it. And I could find the Beaver Brook. So I said, it's got to be near. Turns out it wasn't all that close. I never did find it. Okay, so for our friends on Morton Street, now that we know where it is and what their potential for doing things in the neighborhood is, any concerns about their requests?
No, I didn't have any.
No concerns.
Yeah, they're going 10 feet to the neighbor, but that's the neighbor that was in support of it. So they're fine. So what they would need, and yet again, there's really not a lot of option given the limited size of the lot, the location of the existing structure, and the location of the septic system in the rear, that there is really not much other option to increase the size of this home. So in that sense, they've
So this is just they only need one area of relief, right?
Yep.
I believe so, yeah, to the west side lot line, right?
Yep. So they're showing 10.3. Do you want to go to 10?
10? Yeah.
Yeah, 10 feet.
10 to the west side lot line?
Right.
Yeah, I just hope she measured right the one that's in the front, right? She said it's back a couple of feet.
Yeah, that's, I was concerned as well that she understood where she needed to be, but seemed like it. Not should be back to amend it, but being that they're both in the construction industry, I hope they understand that. And they've also submitted plans. So again, we want it substantially in accordance with the plans submitted, right?
Yeah.
All right. Any other conditions that we'd want to put on it?
I think there's a good, you can probably use the unique nature of the lot and all that stuff that they cite. The standard of review is pretty well covered, so I'm cool if you recite some of their statements.
Mhm.
So I will make a motion that we approve the dimensional variance for the property located at 64 Morton Street as cited and with the standard conditions.
I'll second it.
Okay, moved and seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. John, aye. Jay,
Aye.
Liz?
Aye.
Okay, the ayes have it once again. Well, thank you, folks. That was,
Yeah.
this time we really are done, right?
So when you were talking about Beaver Brook, so when I first moved here, my daughter got invited to a birthday party on Norfolk Street. So I knew nothing about, like, I didn't even know anything about Holliston. So I said, okay, that's fine. So I dumped Norfolk into GPS and all of a sudden I was at Hill Street and then I was on Norfolk Lane. And I'm like, there is no number. I can't find this house. And I was going up and down. Norfolk Lane's like, I don't even think it's paved the whole way down. And I was like trying to rack my brain, but not be like that typical, guy that can't ask for directions. So I went up and down Norfolk Lane. I couldn't find the number because it didn't exist because the numbers stopped at a certain, there's only like 5 or 10 houses on that street. So I got to the top of the street and my daughter was crying because she was late for the party. So I finally called my wife and I'm like, what the heck street? And she's like, I told you it's Norfolk Lane. And I was like, no, don't even start with me. I was like, it can't be Norfolk Lane. So she had given it wrong to me. I hadn't realized there's a Norfolk Street, but I got her there. And it was one of those things where I got to the party and I didn't know anybody. And it was one of those like, I don't want to say cliquey, but it was one of those, parties that everyone knew each other but me. And I remember I sat there and I ended up playing with some random, like, 7 or 8 year old kids, just like, I was probably like the strangest looking guy, but I didn't know anybody. So I had like the most traumatizing first birthday in Holliston, I must tell you. Yeah, it was funny. It was really funny.
Well, when I did it, there wasn't any GPS. So I was working from the map. I had one of those books that, with the pages and they just didn't have the street I was looking for. So
yeah.
Oh, did I run around?
Yeah. There's actually a really nice big house at the end of Norfolk on the, it's really big, 2 of them. Yeah. And now I've seen it both from the water side because I fish on Winthrop a lot. And so I know where it is. At the time I didn't, but I was driving down that road. It was nighttime and I was like, holy smokes. And then all of a sudden there was like a huge house with monster lights. I was like, I thought I was on a private driveway.
Is that the one that just was up for sale? People were ogling on Facebook? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's geothermal and all kinds of. Oh, yeah. Chris is telling us to adjourn. Then you can continue to talk.
Oh, sorry, Chris. Sorry.
All right. Yes.
I would like to tell you that there is one pending petition. So it's up to you whether you want to try to meet in May or whether you want to push it to June.
If there's only one,
yeah,
I prefer to move it unless there's some urgency with the applicant. Is there?
It's the same thing. It's a variance. Actually, that one's not a pre-existing non-conforming anything. So it's truly a variance.
I mean, would you guys mind punting for a month just to have a busier agenda?
It's okay with me.
It's fine with me.
Yeah. Well, in fact, since we're so late this month, it'll be less than 2 months anyway. It'd be more like
Yeah.
7 weeks, 6 weeks.
When are we looking at in June?
I don't know what the third Wednesday is.
Oh, is that what we do, the third Wednesday? Okay, so that's June 16th.
The date works for me.
Likewise.
Ideally, I'd like to not meet in May if we're going to just meet for one application.
Yeah, that works for me too, if they don't need it in any version.
Right.
It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, it just came in today.
Yeah, so I don't feel that bad.
Okay, so then, yeah, it's not that much worse than it.
Okay, so June,
June the 16th.
okay.
Yep.
Okay, and I'll make a motion, we adjourn the public hearing.
I'll second it.
All right. All those in favor of adjourning, John? Aye. Jay?
Aye.
Liz?
Aye.
We're adjourned. Thank you very much. Chris, thank you. Christian,
Yeah,
thank you.
Thank
No
you.
problem. You can
Stay with
continue
us.
to-
Enjoy your night. And
Sorry we were
Good morning.